Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Today, we're talking about the basics of selling your home. So that's a question that I never really thought about as a homeowner, right? Because I'm a real estate agent and I understand obviously the process of selling a home. However, I put myself in the consumer shoes here recently because we are considering potentially upgrading our home, taking advantage of these really good interest rates, my wife and I. So I put myself in that position because I was getting overwhelmed with the process. I was myself, even a veteran in the game, getting overwhelmed with the process of selling my house. And it wasn't until I really took an opportunity to just kind of visualize and make some notes really of what exactly I need to do to start kind of chunking it down bit by bit to get my home potentially ready to list, right? So then I thought, you know what? I have clients, a ton of clients that have purchased homes in the last couple of years, and eventually they're going to become, sellers that are going to want to upgrade their house. And of course, if you know anybody that is looking to sell a house and you're just not sure how to start that process, then of course send them this video because it really could be a daunting task to just consider, that process of selling. A lot of us just know the buying aspect. Now, this would be our third home that we potentially purchased, so I have gone through this already once, but this was a while ago, so I needed a refresher. It's real basic stuff, but at the end of the day, you just kind of want to simplify the process because if not, you'll be like me as a licensed real estate agent, just kind of overwhelmed with the process. As far as the very first step, whenever you're wanting to sell your house, you need to determine the reason why you want to sell your house. It could be a lot of different reasons. It could be your location, where you live right now, your commute, how far you're having to drive to work. It could be your neighbors. You don't like your neighbors. You don't like how clean they keep the neighborhood. It could be just that maybe you have a house that's had a lot of issues and you want a newer home. And just kind of determine what the reason for you wanting to move is, because that's going to be a key part in your home search when you're in the process of selling your house and buying your next home. Of course, we want to go ahead and schedule a time to meet. That would probably be one of the first things that you want to do before you start doing repairs on the house and you start doing this and start getting excited. We want to meet so that way you have an idea of what your home can potentially sell for. So that way you know how much you could potentially profit. There's a lot of different things that we can do with the profit too. A lot of people think that you have to take all of your money that you made on the house and then put it into your next home. Now, that's a great plan. If you want to do that, that's awesome. Obviously, that'll help you put a big chunk down. However, once you've already gotten rid of private mortgage insurance, either by putting 20% down or by prepaying the PMI, which is something that a lot of people don't think you could do. You could actually prepay your private mortgage insurance by just putting 5% down. But once you've done that, once you've already gotten rid of PMI, right, it's not necessary to put 20% down to get rid of PMI. At that point, every 20 grand you're putting down on the house is only going to decrease your monthly payment by $100 a month. So I've had that conversation with a lot of clients where they think that they had to put 20% down on the house that they're purchasing in order to have a low monthly payment, and that's not the case. You can put a 5% down, you prepay your private mortgage insurance, you get rid of that, and then it gives you a nice monthly payment to go off of. So we want to make sure we know what we're going to use the money for. If we're going to need to use all of that money to put into to go into your next house to be able to qualify, then we need to go into it with that mindset as well, because we're going to want to make sure we're squeezing every dollar that we possibly can out of your house. So once we determine if it is a possibility, if once we determine that you could potentially walk away with the money that you need to purchase your next home, then the next step at that point would be to get pre-qualified, to actually run your credit to find out what type of buyer you now are, because the same buyer that you were 2-4 years ago isn't necessarily the same buyer you are now. You could have potentially decreased your credit score and increased your debt, or the other way around. Your credit score could have gone up and then your debt could have gone down. So there's just a lot of different things that could have changed since the first time you bought your house. I've had plenty of conversations with clients where their credit might have taken a step back. And then there's certain things that we need to do to try to work on the credit to get them ready to buy their next home. The last thing we want to do is list your house on the market and then you not have the potential to be able to buy your next home, right? So that's a really big deal and a crucial step. But I do wait after we have our initial consultation, once we find out how much money we have to work with, because we need that information so that way the lender, when they run your credit, they know what to work with as well. So these are the two probably most important steps, obviously, but these are the two that are obviously the most nerve-wracking because of the unknown. You don't know how much money you're going to make. You don't know if you potentially could qualify for the house you're looking for on your next purchase. We want to find out also what your search criteria is on your next purchase. We want to find out and kind of have an idea of what home you're going to be looking for, because that's going to determine how quickly we can get you into your next home. If you're selling a regular just kind of subdivision home in the area, and you're looking for a very unique acre lot out in just something that's very unique and different. If you're looking for a particular home that's in very high demand, pretty much anything right now, 4 bedrooms with an RV gate and a pool is like on everybody's top of their list. So we got to determine what your search criteria is to see if we're going to be able to do a simultaneous closing, or if we're going to be in a situation where we got to be you're going to have to move out of your house and be in a kind of like a holding place until you move into your next house. So what I mean is, if we can narrow down your search criteria and find out what really is what you're looking for, location, the house, and all that good stuff, we can do a simultaneous closing. It happens all the time. As a matter of fact, almost every single one of my clients that have sold a house this year has done a simultaneous closing, where basically you get your house under contract, and then we find your next home. It's all one close. You go from one house to the other. You're not having to rent anywhere. You're not having to stay with friends or family or anything like that, right? If you are in a situation, though, where you're looking for a very unique home, something that I feel is going to take some time, then at that point, I'm going to recommend, hey, we might need to have somewhere for you to stay while we're in this transition phase, right? It doesn't happen too often. I would say 90% of the time, my clients will, do a simultaneous closing. But if you are looking for a unique home, then we might not be able to do that, right? We might not be able to pull that off. So that would be the next step, right? Determine your search criteria. Once we've determined that, yes, you're going to make enough money from the house, once we've determined that, yes, you qualify for the house you're looking for, and once we've determined what search criteria you have, then it's now getting your house ready to list on the market. You want to get the house picture ready. So basically, think about it like if you had somebody that's coming over to your house and they're coming over to your house for the first time again. You're doing you're doing the home tour, and they're going to be going through every section of your house, the bedrooms. You're going to be like, oh, hey, this is my daughter's room. This is my son's room. This is my that. You want to get your house picture ready. Once we have your house picture ready, then I hire a professional photographer, go out to the house, take the pictures. We look at the pictures. We determine, hey, you know what? These are our favorites. These are the ones that we want to knock out. These are the ones that we want to keep. And then we find our list date. We're going to find out what date we want to go live on the market. When you feel you're ready to go ahead and start that process, you're ready to just kind of get out there and get your house on the market. And I can tell you right now, if you put your house on the market and you price it right according to the condition of the house, it will sell the weekend you put it on the market. It will sell if it is priced to the condition of the house that same weekend. If your house needs work and it's overpriced, it won't sell that weekend. So it doesn't matter how hot the market is, no matter what, if your house is overpriced, it won't sell. So that is also an important thing. There's a lot of noise out there talking about, hey, the houses are flying off the shelf. It's hard to get your offers accepted and this and that. If you have an overpriced house, it's still going to sit on the market regardless. And that stays true in any market that we're in. Obviously, in the market that we're in right now, where houses are in very high demand, the houses don't have to be 100% move-in ready. You don't have to go and repaint the house. Little things, nicks and things like that, little items, they're okay. Buyers are going to be okay purchasing your house, even though it needs some work. Now, obviously, it's a full rebuild and walls, holes are everywhere, carpet's dirty. Then no, you need to get your house ready to list, so that way when people walk in there, they don't think they have to do a ton of work. Otherwise, you're not going to get the most money for your house. And then once an offer comes in, which it should come in that weekend, we're going to determine the one that's going to work the best for you. Once we determine which is going to be the best one for you, which one we can get the most money out of, which one is going to give you the opportunity to potentially be able to transition into your next home, then we accept an offer. And that's pretty much when we start a home search. Once you have your home under contract, that's when we begin our home search on your next home to find the next home, the next stage in your life. And that's the thing. I don't like to use the term forever home, because you really don't know what your forever home is. I thought that the house that we were going to be in, we were definitely going to be there for 5 years. It's been 3 years. And then my wife and I are like, it's time to move. We want to get something else now. So, it's just that stage in your life. That's what it is. All right. So hopefully this video gives you some clarity. It helps you understand a little bit more on what you need to do to chunk it down and find out what are the steps that you need to take to potentially list your house on the market. Of course, the very first step and the most important step is to schedule a time to meet with me so we can determine your potential proceeds, and then I will guide you from there. All right, guys. Thank you much for joining me today. Enjoy this beautiful weather. It's not going to last that long. It's going to get hot real quick, real soon, and you have yourself a great weekend. Take care.